Hello, pretty people. Welcome to Simply Delish Duo. You guys, I have a treat for you guys today. I am making two different recipes with the same batter. I have here Scalidi, a Calabrese tradition, and I have Struffoli, same batter, but it's another Italian Christmas tradition. These are both classic Italian Christmas treats. So if you like this recipe and would like to see more, please subscribe to our channel by hitting that red subscribe button below. Before I begin, I just wanted to let you know I am using the same batter for my Struffoli, which is a dessert used all over Italy, and my Scalidi, which is a southern Italian dessert. Now this recipe is my ma's recipe. It's been handed down from generation to generation. Your Struffoli are deep fried balls the size of a marble, whereas your Scalidi are a twisted cookie, both deep fried. So what I'm using today is I'm using 3 cups of flour, 7 eggs, about a half a teaspoon of salt, a pinch of salt, 4 tablespoons of white rum. You could use dark rum. I'm using white rum today. I have 7 tablespoons of vegetable oil, about a tablespoon of orange zest. I used a large orange, so I used half of that zest and I used half of that juice. So half a juice of a large orange, which I'd say probably a tablespoon and a half. And I have here a half a cup of sugar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all my dry ingredients in my mixer and give it a mix. So I am putting all my dry ingredients. Give it a little mix here. I like it on low so the flour doesn't get everywhere. So once we form our cookies, our desserts here, we're gonna deep fry them, let them cool off, and then we're gonna coat them in honey. And in that honey, we're gonna, on top of the stove, I'm going to melt the honey, add a half a cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of water. My dry ingredients are mixed. I cracked the eggs, put the orange zest, your vegetable oil, your rum, and your orange juice. Now we're gonna give this a good mix. Now it may require a bit more flour. The flour can't be wet. It's got to be more on the dry side. So let's give it a mix and we'll take a look. It's forming into balls, so I am just going to clean up the sides here. Some flour on the bottom. I'll give it another mix and then we'll take a look and see if it requires more flour or not. As you can see, the dough is too wet, too sticky. I'm going to add another 3/4 cups of flour, and if we need more, I will add more. My mom doesn't write her recipes down. Like, she just eyeballs. So my dough is all done. You can see it's more on the dry side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna knead it a little bit just to form into a nice ball. We're gonna wrap it in saran wrap and let it sit for a good half hour. Wrap it there, form it into a nice little ball. Wrap it up for about half hour. Now I just let it sit at room temperature. You can refrigerate it, but I'm just gonna have it sit at room temperature and see you in half. So my dough has sat out for half hour. I am going to unwrap it here, you guys. Look at how beautiful this is. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna cut it in half, because like I said, half of it is for my Scalidi, my twisted cookies. The other half for my Struffoli. So I'm just gonna put this aside, use that later. What we're gonna do, you guys, this is so simple. It's probably one of the easiest Christmas cookies that you could make. Just roll your dough out. Probably about my pinky size, your pinky size. Give it a good roll. Then we're gonna cut it and we're gonna form little marble-sized balls. So I'm gonna form all of these, meet you at the stove to fry all of these yummy goodies. Okay, my oil is nice and hot and ready to go. So I'm going to put my struffoli in the oil. And as soon as they're golden brown, your struffoli are ready here. Which doesn't take long. Just do this. There. So I have 3 separate batches that I'm going to be frying the struffoli with. So as soon as I'm done frying them all, I will be back. I will show you, and then we're going to let them cool off and coat them in that honey syrup and show you what I do with them. Yeah. A nice golden brown. Remove my first batch. I have here a plate with some with some paper towel to soak up that excess oil. So let me remove this batch and throw in my second batch here. Okay, I'm ready to form my scalidi. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to get a piece of dough, and you know what? I'll show you the couple designs that we usually make, our tradition. So roll this out. Maybe a little bit too big. Roll it out, and then what I do is I squish it. This is really simple, you guys. Just cut the ends on one side. Don't cut all the way through. Just on the ends on one side and just form a circle. Stick it like that. That's one design. That's one design that you have. Or, my Nona used to make this. Roll out about my pinky size. I have here a wooden spoon dipped in flour. So what I'm gonna do, just wrap it around about 3 times around your spoon. Sorry, I was a little too high there. Wrap it around. Bring, the flour. Bring this one here and this one on this side. And take it off your spoon. There. That's another classic design right here. Or I'll show you one more here. These are all my Nona's designs, every single one of them. This is the easiest one. I find this one to be the easiest one. Actually, I just wanted to make it just a little bit thicker. Squish it down. This is the easiest one. Now, you could just use a regular knife. I'm just adding a little bit of a touch to it, just a little decoration. And, didn't cut right through. Okay, and just braid it as if you're braiding hair. Just a nice braid. So, I've made a few here. So you have your braid, the circle that I've cut, and the wooden spoon design. You can make any kind of design you want. I'm gonna form all of my scalidi, and then we're gonna get ready to fry them. So I'll meet you at the stove as soon as I'm done forming everything. Okay, my oil's nice and hot. I am going to fry my scalidi. So you don't want it crowded. You don't want your pot too crowded, so I will put a few in here. These ones fry up quite fast. So as soon as they're golden brown, we'll take them out of the oil. So I just turn them over so they can get nice golden brown on the other side. Like literally 2 minutes, maybe not even. Make sure your oil is nice and hot though. Okay, a nice golden brown. So I do have my plate here with some paper towel. Soak up that excess oil. And I will put my next batch in. So I have about 2 cups of honey here. Normally I would use 1, but because I made the Scalidi and Struffoli together, and I am gonna be coating them all, I have 2 cups of honey here. I have about 3 tablespoons of water, and I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar. So give this a good stir until all that sugar dissolves. And as you can see, my honey, and you could use any honey. I'm using actually raw honey today, but you could use any kind of honey. So as soon as my sugar is all dissolved and the honey's nice and hot, I am gonna be coating my Struffoli and my Scalidi. Okay, my honey's all good to go. Nice and liquidy, so I am going to actually put half of my Struffoli in there. I'm gonna do them in 2 separate batches so I could coat these nicely coated and evenly coated. And then I'm gonna remove them. So what I'm gonna do is remove them out of here so they're all nicely coated. Put in my second batch. I'm going to cool them off to form my wreath. Okay, my Struffoli are already coated. I'm gonna let them cool off. I'll put them right here to cool off. In the meantime, I finished frying all my Scalidi. They're cooled off also, and they're ready to be coated. So, put a few Scalidi in here. And we'll coat them. So I'll coat them all, and I'll be back. So my Struffoli were all cooled off. They're all coated. I grabbed the plate. I have a cup glass right in the middle of my plate, but I oiled the outside of the glass. I'm going to oil my hands because I spread the Struffoli out around my glass. Give it a good oil because your Struffoli are gonna stick to you. Because what you need to do is you need to mold your wreath. So I placed my Struffoli nicely around the plate. I'm gonna remove the glass. Now I'm using colored sprinkles. You could use any kind you want. I was actually gonna use the red and the green, but I thought, oh, let's just go with the colored ones. And you just decorate your wreath. How simple is that? Now, this is a classic Italian tradition. You can even put some cherries if you want on them. What I like to do also for my cookie platter that I will have made, these are hard to get out. There. And I like to be liberal with the sprinkles. Okay, what I like to do also for my cookie platter, I like to put a few in these little cupcake papers. And about 3, 5, how many ever fit. Oops. And put your sprinkles on these also. There, so now you have your Struffoli plate. I am going to show you my Scalidi plate also. You guys, I finished my wreath. How easy and simple is that? Doesn't that look great? I put some in little cupcake papers or cupcake holders so people could just grab them just like this. And they will be going in my Christmas cookie platter. I also after I finished coating these, I cooled them off and I put my beautiful scalidi in a platter. Now you guys, these actually all freeze well. If you are going to freeze them, do not coat them with the honey. Freeze them without coating. That morning, thaw them out, or that day that you're gonna serve them, thaw them out, and then that's when you will coat them with honey. So, but they do freeze really, really well. And I hope you like this recipe. Thank you for watching Simply Delish Duo.